The American Green Zone Alliance is committed to improving quality of life for communities, working conditions for operators, and best practices for the landscape maintenance industry. They developed the AGZA Green Zone certification to be the most rigorous program for facilitating, measuring, and independently verifying the elimination of noise and air pollution impacts of landscape maintenance operations. And Glendale's certification has now independently verified our city's phase out of all two-stroke gas-powered lawn and garden equipment citywide. This is the culmination of 5 years of engagement, hard work, collaboration, and cooperation with various departments and agencies. This is better for the workers, it's better for the habitability of our planet, and it's better for all of us. So I'm just really, really pleased I was able to come here today and participate.
Well, good afternoon on a beautiful, beautiful Tuesday. This is an exciting moment that I know I've been looking forward to for years. It all started in 2019 when AQMD board member Michael Cacciati and AGZA founder Dan Mabe, and where is Dan? Right there, Dan Mabe with the AGZA hat, when the two of them came to City Council to talk about what South Pasadena was doing to electrify its landscaping. I remember vividly Dan pointing an electric blower at Michael's abundant head of hair to demonstrate its power. Remember that? And also to show how quiet it was. I wasn't on council then. I was actually in the audience leading the Glendale Environmental Coalition, but I decided then and there that Glendale needed to follow South Pasadena's lead, but on a much, much bigger scale. Councilmember Paula Devine, I don't know if she's here, but I know she was equally excited, and fortunately she was in a position to ask staff to start looking into this. When I got on council, I joined that effort. The ultimate goal was and still is to eliminate two-stroke gas blowers and other handheld devices across the community, not just for city operations. But we took what I think was a thoughtful strategy to walk the walk and demonstrate through our own operations that electric landscaping is ready for prime time. That's what we've been doing this past 3 to 4 years. The transition, to be honest, hasn't always been easy. We hit some unexpected roadblocks early on with charging infrastructure, and we also learned the importance of training. Gas and electric work differently, and our folks needed to learn how to do things a little differently. But through the partnership with AGZA for tool testing, education and training, and with the help of the AQMD, which covered 80% of the cost of the new equipment, we pulled it off. And now I'm proud to report that Glendale is the largest city in the entire country, you heard that right, not county, country, to convert all handheld landscape equipment to electric. This is an incredible feat. This conversion will result in the reduction of 63 tons of airborne pollutants each year, including 50 tons of CO2 and 13 tons of smog-forming criteria pollutants such as carbon monoxide, NOx, and small particulate matter. It will reduce noise pollution by 40 to 70%, depending on the type of tool used. In closing, I'd like to give a big, hearty thanks to our park staff, led by Onig Bulanikian, to AGZA, led by Dan Mabe, and to the AQMD, represented here by my friend Michael Cacciati. You are all amazing and deserve a giant applause.
On behalf of the Community Service and Parks Department, I would like to thank Mayor Brotman and, of course, City Council for allocating the funds, which was very important in purchasing these equipments. We need funds in order to purchase. Allocating the funds toward this project. As Mayor Brotman mentioned, the project did start in 2019 when Dan Mabe and Mr. Cacciati came to council. I was in the back watching, and I got a nod from the city manager back then and a text saying we probably should look into electrifying our equipment, which we did. We looked at working with AGZA, American Green Zone Alliance, and we started the project in two phases. The first phase was working with our mini parks and our landscape sites with Parkwood Landscape maintenance, and converting all of our gas-powered equipment to electric for 8 sites. That was back in 2020, early 2020. And just this past October, we went ahead and converted all of our equipment thanks to the AQMD rebate that we had received, converting all of our facilities, which includes 47 parks and facilities with over 286 acres of developed park land. We converted 160 pieces of gas-powered equipment to electric, 37, which includes 37 hedge trimmers, 44 string trimmers, 45 leaf blowers, and 35 21-inch lawnmowers, like I mentioned earlier, in 2 phases. Moving forward, I have asked staff to look into converting our ride-on mowers as technology gets better and equipment is out there. They'll be working with Dan Mabe and AQMD to see if there are any other equipment out there to replace our ride-on lawnmowers to electric. The conversion to electric equipment required coordination with CSP staff, our community service and park staff, and public works, as well as various departments. I want to thank the men and women of the Parks Department as well as Public Works for converting all of our landscape equipment to electric. And with that being said, the City of Glendale is leading by example for neighboring municipalities and institutions on going green and making sure that we're working well to have a cleaner Glendale and cleaner environment, not only in LA County, but in the nation.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I am Dan Mabe from the American Green Zone Alliance, and I want to thank everybody for being in attendance today to support this achievement for the City of Glendale. The City of Glendale really had put forth an amazing effort from the first time we came out that was mentioned. The city was objective, diligent, adaptive, and now successful. So we really want to stress how grateful we are to the mayor and council to allow this process to take place the way it did. Because we did that, I feel we have really built something that's going to last in perpetuity. Mayor Brotman and city council members who supported the city's transition with meaningful actions and provided the city departments and staff the resources needed to accomplish these goals. And then, of course, I always look back on that very first meeting with Dan Brotman when I came in with Michael. It's a really nice memory, and it really did set off and get us to where we are here today. I really want to thank Senator Portantino for sending a staff member. He has, I believe, been present at 2 previous AGZA Green Zone ceremonies, and we really do have to acknowledge the senator because he was very instrumental in helping move forward the core program where the state of California was able to create funding to help the private companies throughout the state of California with this transition. Vice Chair Cacciati, I cannot stress enough to everyone what this single individual has done for our industry. It's always been a supportive approach, a carrot approach, and an approach that has been compassionate to the needs of the industry. The South Coast AQMD definitely has led in putting their funds where their mouth is and really allowed all of us to enjoy these programs which bring down the cost substantially of battery to allow us to achieve a lot of these projects. So thank you, Michael, and the South Coast AQMD. Parks and Community Services. Oneg, Teresa, It's just been a pleasure working with you, and we look forward to continuing this process to getting you guys to level 2 eventually, but we're going to do it the same way we have been doing it. No square pegs down round holes. Everything is going to be vetted, and we're going to understand that it's an economic and workload feasible proposition before anything is done. I just have to say it. I know sometimes they don't want their names mentioned, but Chris and Chemo, individuals under the Parks and Community Services Department, going and visiting one by one all of the properties, seeing what was appropriate to go where, looking at where we can do this charging infrastructure. Definitely, it's been a pleasure working with you, and thank you so much for all of the work in the back channels you have done to get us here today. I did also want to mention the work we've done with the Glendale Office of Sustainability, David and Elizabeth. We did an event just last week. It was very well attended, and we'll continue to work with them to send the right message to all of your constituents and residents and business owners that Glendale really wants to do this, but you guys are doing it in the right way. And then finally, I would like to mention the manufacturers. Today, we have Steel and Husqvarna who are present because they didn't just supply tools. Their reps, and there was a process here, let me go back, where multiple tool platforms were tested. This is an unbiased process where all of these platforms are brought in and afforded to be tested under workloads, and then these two companies were the companies chosen to meet your needs. But we know how hard these two companies in the back channels as well worked to help the city reach its goals through their distributorship and their dealership. Thank you for that.
Good afternoon. As the Vice Chair of the largest air pollution control district in the nation, it's my honor to be here today to recognize the City of Glendale, the Mayor, Councilmember Najarian, and the entire council, staff, commissioners, community members, Dan, that made this incredible day, unprecedented day in the United States happen today. As the Mayor said, the largest city institution in the United States to go entirely green, zero emission, commercial electric lawn equipment. This achievement wouldn't have been possible. 5 years of hard work. I saw Eric at that meeting, Dan at the meeting, other council members, people in the audience that were excited about this event. With incentive funding from the South Coast AQMD, the City of Glendale, you won't believe this, this is a big benefit to the taxpayers of Glendale. They're going to save, have saved, and will save by the new equipment they'll be getting, hundreds of thousands of dollars in maintenance costs, fuel costs. No more gas, no more two-stroke oil, no more spark plugs, no more filters. Clean air for the workers, for the community. First, though, another big benefit, the substantial reduction of harmful air pollution to the residents of Glendale and our region, protecting children, adults, people with compromised immune systems from going to the hospital, from premature death, from asthma attacks, from asthma, from other respiratory cardiovascular problems. Second, reduced emissions, reduced greenhouse gas emissions, helping our efforts to fight climate change. Third, action will help us in meeting federal clean air standards so we don't lose transportation money, which the Councilmember Najarian knows so well. Fourth, Glendale, as was mentioned, along with the city of South Pasadena, Mount San Antonio College, soon Pasadena City College, following your example, will set a model for the entire other cities to follow, other colleges, school districts, and small institutions as a model to convert our equipment over. Finally, as a United States Soccer Federation national coach, coaching soccer in this community in Florida and here now for 35 years, I coach here every year at your park, the complex. I've coached in your community at the parks and recreation in your community. Last year, I had 3 kids on my team, boys under 16 anyways, who had asthma. Never happened before. Your actions today, Mayor, Councilmember Najarian, City Manager, staff out there, commissioners, Dan, you're going to set an example. You're going to protect the kids that are in our community, the juveniles that have juvenile asthma, the adults that are impacted, people with compromised immune systems won't have to face that pollution, the toxic nitric oxide, carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, volatile organic compounds coming out of the lawnmowers. Congratulations to the City of Glendale, Mayor, council members, staff, community for doing a first in the nation and largest. Congratulations.